Hello, my friends. Welcome back to Carnage Reviews. My name is Eric. Today, we continue our theme of looking at movies where people love the dead. But unlike Necromantic 1 and 2, this one is a bit different. Her Name Was Christa is a movie I first heard about on Facebook. I am a member of this Tubi horror group, and people were posting about this movie nonstop. So I had to check it out for myself. And when I first watched it, I was blown away. So blown away that I had to go out and buy myself a physical copy of the movie. Her Name Was Christa is actually what inspired this whole Love the Dead theme I have going here. I thought it'd be interesting to start with Necromantic 1 and 2, which, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe those two films were the first of its kind to tackle a subject matter like this, at least in such a graphic way. Like those films, Her Name Was Christa is graphic, shocking, and disturbing, but in a much different way. Her Name Was Christa was directed by James L. Edwards. It stars James L. Edwards, Cheyenne Day, Drew Fortier, Rick Germain, and Kaylee Williams. Stephen Booth is a socially awkward 40-year-old man who works a dead-end office job. Through a conversation with his coworker Nick, we learn it's been a very long time since Stephen has been with anyone romantically. After being frustrated with online dating and being alone, Nick suggests to Stephen that he hire a prostitute, which he does, but it doesn't go very well. Nick then suggests that he look for one that can provide the girlfriend experience, which is a service where you pay someone to act and pretend to be your girlfriend. At first, Stephen laughs it off, but then he decides to go out again to find a prostitute. After changing his mind, he goes to a diner where he meets Candy, aka Christa, a working girl Stephen instantly feels attracted to. They work out an arrangement, and Stephen and Candy start seeing each other. What starts out as just business soon turns personal as Stephen and Candy get to know each other and form a real connection. Just as things seem to be looking up for Stephen, tragedy strikes, and things soon take a dark turn. Concerned that he is losing his mind, Stephen must make a choice. How far is he willing to go to keep Candy, Christa, and his love alive? Pun intended.
She was a person. She had a name. Her name was Christa.
This is a difficult movie for me to review. Based on the plot description and poster, I think most of you guys know, or at least have an idea, of where the movie's going, even if you haven't seen it. It's more about the technique the film uses to show what happens than what actually happens that makes Her Name Was Christa effective at getting under your skin. Don't get me wrong, what happens in the film is shocking, disturbing, and very important, but the technique used to show it really adds depth and layers that I don't think would have been there if it was done in a different way. I really want to discuss this technique as well as other things that happen in the film, but I don't want to ruin it for those who haven't seen it yet. Her Name Was Christa is really important to watch for the first time, knowing as little as possible. This video is going to be a bit different. I'm going to do a spoiler-free review, and then after that, I'm going to go into a bit more detail on certain things. When I get to that point, I'm going to put up my spoiler alert sign. Like Necromantic 1 and 2, Her Name Was Christa is not a horror film in the traditional sense. However, unlike those films where necrophilia and violence is the centerpiece and what drives the main characters, Her Name Was Christa is a different beast entirely. You could in fact argue that Her Name Was Christa is not a horror film at all, but a drama. However, and this is going to sound corny as fuck, but love is scary. And what we do for love can be even scarier. And I think the film does a really good job showing this. Her Name Was Christa is a slow burn film, and we spend a lot of time with the characters. For something like this to be effective, we have to, one, like the characters, and two, the acting needs to be really good. The actors who portray Christa and Stephen do a really good job of the roles and bring the characters to life. James L. Edwards has this everyman look to him, and it makes him really likable and relatable. His voice also really adds a lot to the character, too. It's strangely comforting. Cheyenne Day, who plays Christa, really brings something to the character I feel other actresses could have missed. She plays her with this vulnerability, but at the same time presents her as strong and with a guard up. And this may seem weird, given that she's a prostitute, but she plays her with this sort of innocence to her, this naiveness. Stephen and Krista are very different people, but at the same time, they're also the same. They're both in positions that I don't think they want to be in, but they're comfortable in them. And I think that's what draws them together. Her Name Was Christa is a tragic film, Shakespeare like in a way. Like Necromantic 1 and 2, it's about isolation and loneliness. Her Name Was Christa is also about loss, and what we do to deal with loss, no matter how unhealthy it may be. It's also about the crazy ass things we do for love. While it takes a bit of time to get to the meat of the matter in the film, the slow burn approach the film takes is very effective. I give Her Name Was Christa 5 skulls. I'm now getting to the spoiler portion of the video. The spoiler alert sign is now going up, so if you don't want to be spoiled, skip this portion of the video until the sign goes away. Krista reveals to Stephen that she's no longer working as a prostitute and that she's in love with him. Stephen reveals to Krista that he feels the same way and he's in love with her. They both decide that they want to be intimate with each other, so Stephen goes to the bedroom and Krista goes to the bathroom to get ready. Stephen falls asleep and wakes up to find Krista dead on the bathroom floor, having overdosed on heroin, I think. Stephen is so upset and distraught that in his mind, Krista starts to talk to him and tells him that she's dead, but that she still wants to be with him and that she's not going anywhere. We then see Stephen be intimate with Krista in his mind, and in reality, he's being intimate with her corpse. What I really found interesting is the way this was shown. We see a very much alive Krista with Stephen kissing and making love, and then the film reverts to reality, which is Stephen having his way with a corpse. I really liked the thought and detail that went into these sequences. When we see Krista alive, the colors are very warm and bright. However, when we go to the reality where she's dead, the colors are very bleak. It's dark, desaturated. It's almost like we're jumping in and out of Stephen's mind. I think that Stephen is very much aware of his delusions, but he's so grief stricken that his mind is trying so hard to just embrace this false reality. A good example of this is when he goes into the bathroom and he sees his face is covered in blood and he starts to get sick. And then we hear Krista's voice tell him that everything's going to be okay. It's all right just to come back to bed. And when he looks back in the mirror, the lighting is that warm color again, and the blood that was on his face is gone. One other thing I wanted to talk about was the character Nick, Stephen's coworker. It's revealed at the end of the film that Nick didn't actually work there, and they're wondering if he actually existed to begin with. I think that Nick represented a part of Stephen that he wanted to be, in that as we got more and more into the film, Stephen was slowly becoming that character. There's an interesting scene where Stephen's boss tells him that he didn't get approved for his time off, and Stephen says, "Oh, fuck you," and all this stuff. And Nick's there in the background, but you notice that when the more and more Stephen gets agitated, that Nick seems to disappear. He does come back eventually towards, like, after his boss runs off, but then when his boss comes back, he disappears again. So it's very interesting. And it kind of makes you wonder, too, if Nick isn't real, was the relationship that Krista and Steven actually had real? Did any of that actually occur, or was it all in his head? Have you seen Her Name Was Krista? Let me know in the comment section what you think about the film. If you enjoyed today's video, please give that like button a good old schmack. Her Name Was Krista is currently streaming on Tubi and I believe Amazon Prime. However, I highly recommend getting a physical copy of this movie. It's on Blu-ray. You'll get much better image quality and sound. I also think it's on DVD, but I'm not sure. You can get a copy of the film at makeflix.com, which I'll post a link to in the description. James L. Edwards, the star and director of Her Name Was Christa, is a super nice guy and very approachable. He's on Facebook, and he has another film coming out very soon. Well, my friends, that's it for me today. Let's end the Love the Dead theme with a good old fashioned necrophilia joke, and I'm going to read it to you because I don't want to screw it up. A wife asked her husband why he cheated on her. His reply was, "She was just lying there naked on the table. What was I supposed to do?" The wife replied, "Perform the fucking autopsy. Do do do." Take care, guys. Bye bye.